About the Weeks family, my grandmother Weeks, she was a Loman. And there's a place over here on the lake called Loman's Ferry. And when my grandmother was a teenager, she used to pole the ferry across the New River before the lake backed up, of course. And then she married a fellow by the name of John Weeks, and they moved to Graysontown, Virginia. And grandmother was a little wiry lady, and that's the best way you'd explain.
What was her name? Lucy?
No, that's his dad's name.
What was her name? Poor little lady. All she was a Loman.
Cordelia. It is Cordelia.
Cordelia.
Okay, Cordelia.
And anyway, I always called her Grandmother Weeks.
We're going to start calling you Phyllis right now.
When Courtney named Cordelia, she did not know she had a great grandmother by that name.
Oh, that works out good.
But grandmother was the lady in the neighborhood. Graysontown, you've been through Graysontown. Wasn't all that large then, but it was a pretty good sized settlement because they had a mill and Snowball was close by where they had steel manufacturing, some of the things like that. Anyway, she was a person that when somebody died, she went and prepared the bodies for the burial. And I remember.
What would you?
Where was she when they needed you?
What would you do to prepare? I always heard you put 50-cent pieces on the eyelids.
And you used to have to put boards on their back. I understand now. I never heard anybody in the family say that, but I've heard other people say it because after a certain spell of death, your body will.
So you would tie a board.
It would actually raise up if you didn't tie a board.
Oh. That's why they have all those ghoul movies where somebody's dead and then they come up.
That's what I always heard about.
Oh, so you had to tie a board around them.
I can always remember when I was not a real little fella.
Wash the hair and wash the body and dress.
And it did everything. But anyway, I always remember when I was a kid, we lived in Roanoke, that we'd catch a train and go up to Graysontown at least once every summer. And grandmother always, she had 3 boys, Raymond, Graham, 4 boys.
Did brother have a real name?
And,
We don't know.
called him Raymond. That was Aunt Maggie's boy. Raymond was Aunt Maggie's boy.
Who was
Anyway,
brother?
We had Berman. She had Berman and Raymond and Uncle Graham. And we'd always come up in the summertime. And at that time now, this was in the 30s. Because I was born in 33 and we were looking at 37, 38, 39, 40. They still had oil lamps, no electricity. Had to walk to the well to get the water. And grandmother cooked on one of these cook stoves that you had to put the wood in and everything all the time. Used to have real good meals. But her 2 boys that were characters, well, all 3 of them were characters to a certain degree. And Raymond and Berman were all real good workers with wood. And your grandmother Scott's, which even has now, a solid cherry dining room table was made by the Raymond. But anyway, when I'd go to the country, Uncle Berman had a workshop, and he'd always take me into the shops, and you can use this wood and this wood and this wood, and here's your hammer and nails, and I'd always make a little something when I was there. And in the summertime, we'd go up, we'd always have usually a watermelon, that kind of thing, and I can remember distinctly Uncle Raymond and Uncle Berman sitting on the steps to see who could spit the watermelon seeds furthest. He was always doing something like that. And Uncle Raymond ran the mill, and Don and I, my cousin, would go out to the mill and fish in the mill race and watch them make flour and all that type of thing. And a little bit of history. Grandmother Weeks was kin to the Earleys, General Early.
You know who Jubilee Early is?
Jubilee Early. The one that went north and tried to run on what town? Gettysburg? Not Gettysburg. Where we lived in Maryland. Well, there wasn't Hagerstown. It was next door to Hagerstown.
Fredericksburg?
No. Anyway, during the war, he went into where the bloody battle was in
Antietam?
Antietam. He went into Antietam and was going to capture their money in the north, and didn't pull it off.
He was a well-respected
very
general, if you read about
well-respected
I think a good strategist.
And that's about it on the weeks, I think.
Well, the Scots, okay.
Well, one little short story on my great-great-granddaddy was a medical doctor.
This would have been the late
Sheriff.
1800s?
This would have been in about the middle 1800s.
Okay.
And he was a doctor and a sheriff and a minister.
So if he
And
couldn't
he had
hear
his-
you, he'd bury you. If he didn't shoot you and put you in jail.
That's right. That's the story.
And his medical tools were right over here at the museum, on the Wilderness Road Museum for years. I think they've been moved now. I think Frank's family got them in there somewhere. Anyway, they were over there for years. But he was preaching revival. What in the world? He was preaching revival over in Floyd County one night. He saw this woman criminal sitting in the congregation. He arrested him right
Oh, gosh.
brought him back. But he's the one that initially had the land that you saw over there when we went to family grounds over there. Mercy.
I can stop a few minutes. You want to stop a few minutes?
No, that's all right. Anyway, that's just about it.
Well, wait a second.
Oh, my granddaddy, okay. My granddaddy had that farm over in Childress, Montgomery County. It was composed of 94 acres. And that grandmother raised 9 kids in the small house over there.
Was that Lucy?
That was Lucy.
Okay.
Grandmother Lucy raised 9 kids over there.
That's the cabin that Lisa saw and I saw? Okay.
And in 1921, right before the Depression, Granddaddy sold the farm to his cousin, who was a Lucas, not his cousin, Grandma's cousin, who was a Lucas. And it's still in the family over there. That was Ted Lucas's family that bought the farm. And Granddaddy went to Roanoke and bought interest in the H&C Coffee Company. I don't think it was called that then, but it's H&C Coffee Company now.
So, with Lisa, when you're in Roanoke, sometimes you've seen that neon thing with the coffee pot and it poured in. It was famous coffee
still
in the.
there, isn't
Yeah, I think the statue's still there.
Oh, it's a statue.
No, it's a
So
neon
it's a neon.
sign.
We created it.
Okay.
Because it used to be kind of a landmark thing.
Yeah, so H&C, it was a big company at that
Near
point.
the hotel Roanoke.
And they had Granddaddy and Grandmother. Now I just tell you, Granddaddy and Grandmother, when they moved to Roanoke, built a beautiful house. I mean, it was a beautiful house. And when the Depression hit, Granddaddy lost a lot of money, but the house stayed in the family. And Granddaddy, after that, worked at Marita Bakery. It used to be a bakery in Roanoke. It was very popular, Marita Bakery, and that's where he worked to keep the family going. But he did. He sold that farm, went to Roanoke in the Depression, about got him.
Did he lose in the stock market or what? Or just people quit buying coffee and stuff?
I don't know, but I mean, the company just about shut down and lost everything. Anyway, and Granddaddy worked at Marita Bakery for years, and then when he passed got to be 65 or 70, I reckon, he started running the elevator around Memorial Hospital. He had something to do, I reckon. Last time I drove by that house, it looked real good. But I'm telling you, nobody realized how pretty that house was. You remember, don't you?
The one they lived in, Grandma Lucy lived in it until she died.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, it had beautiful wood and
Yeah.
wood. Oh, yeah, and I was just a kid.
So one story I heard was, when Dad was about 5, he just lived down the street from his grandma. So this is the story they would tell about that little 5-year-old boy. What was that story, Daddy?
Everybody had front porches at that time. And I lived 4 blocks from Grandmother.
4 blocks or 4 houses?
4 blocks.
You walked 4 blocks as a 5-year-old?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you could do that.
We could do that then. And we had this rug on the porch. It wasn't real big. Probably a little bigger than that. I rolled it up, put it on the arm, walked down to Grandma's, tried to sell it to her.
Oh, my gosh.
Did she buy it?
No.
You take that back to your mother.